Allow me to introduce you to Dan Saunders. If you met him today, you'd probably think he's your average bartender, working $22 an hour and providing customers with overpriced margaritas. But his story is far more interesting than that, because old Dan here was once a millionaire and will go down in history as the dumbest millionaire. Our story starts in the 8th layer of hell, also known as Australia. More specifically, the city of Wangaratta, I don't fucking know. One night in 2011, our main man decided to do what everybody else does when living in a continent full of giant spiders and literal dinosaurs: get pissed drunk and wander around the city. He ends up coming upon something that will change his life forever. Though it looked like a functioning ATM on the surface, this certain ATM was broken. Not knowing this, Dan put his card inside and tried to transfer $200 from his credit to his savings. And though he was met with a transaction error, the machine still spat out the money. And so, by the end of the night, Dan had $1,300 cash in his hands. The next day, he sobered up and he decided to call the bank. The receiver told him that no money was taken from his account. And through trial and error, he found out from 1 to 3 a.m. in the morning that specific ATM would disconnect from the bank's network. Dan had found the golden goose, and within a couple weeks, Dan had transferred $20,000. Now, before we continue, up until this point, you're probably wondering why I dubbed him the dumbest millionaire. Every step he took until now has been quite rational, and I can't help but agree with you. However, let me ask you a question. If you were in Dan's shoes, what would you do? Maybe lay low to avoid suspicion, buy some stocks, save for the future? Nope. Dan had other plans. Within about 5 months, he bought drinks for everyone in his local pub, threw parties every weekend, ate at the most expensive restaurants in town, and traveled the world in private planes. Though he did some good, like paying for his friends' tuition and getting homeless people a place to sleep, this only served to build his anxiety. Dan began to have nightmares about SWAT teams breaking down his door, and often as a result woke up in a pool of sweat. Eventually, in June 2011, the guilt got the better of him and he called the bank. Because over the last 5 months, he had spent over $1.5 million. Though the receiver informed him that the police would be notified, for 2 years, he would hear nothing, despite appearing on national television detailing how he exploited his way to being a millionaire. He was eventually arrested in 2015 and spent a year in prison, and you can now find him working as a bartender once again. The story is quite conflicting because while he did the right thing by turning himself in and being honest, if you ask me, honesty is worth a lot, but it isn't worth $1 million. But hey, feel free to tell me your opinions in the comments below. And until next time, my friends.